What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back again with another 90-day fiance video, and this one is all about Jibri, Miona, and his parents, and how I believe, you know what? Let's begin by giving a big massive shout out to every single person that is a member of the channel and every single person that is a member of Patreon, where you can find all of our unrestricted content that you can never find on YouTube simply because we're not allowed to. And the link for that is down below in the description. But with that being said though, let's get into this week's episode when it comes to Jibri, Miona, and his parents. In fact, I'm going to play you the clip at the very beginning of the show between him and his parents, and then we're going to break down how he tried to not necessarily manipulate, but how he didn't have much of a backbone going into the conversation with Miona.
I thought maybe a prairie wedding or a South Dakota wedding where your family did it.
But, you know, I want her to be happy. I know it's last minute, but you guys know I only had 90 days to do this.
You still could have planned it from the very beginning of the 90 days so that we could tell family and all plan to take time off to be there.
You know, you guys don't think that you could take a couple days off and come to the wedding? So you're not coming is what you're telling me?
We would like to be at your wedding, but because of the, what I'll call lack of organization or lack of planning, I don't think we'll be able to attend.
I don't know, this is upsetting.
Why is it upsetting?
We want to see you get married and to be at the wedding and support you in the wedding, which is another concern, frankly.
We wanted to be able to talk with you in a place where it was just us to talk about what we're noticing and like some of our concerns. Parents can generally tell when their child looks stressed. You're bubbly, excited, passionate about things, talking about wonderful things in the future, and you're not doing that as much. And it seems like you're not doing okay.
We don't see that you're happy.
3 different occasions, not one or not 2, but 3 different occasions that I pointed out there of where his parents have said that they cannot come to the wedding. They cannot because of the planning. 3 different occasions with 3 reasons that identify why they could not, and that is because the planning isn't there and they haven't got enough time. Remember that, because that plays a key part to, well, we'll get there.
I'm in a waiting room right now and the walls are closing in. And I feel like I have to choose the door to escape or for the next chapter, right? And whatever door I choose, somebody's getting left out. I'm just overwhelmed.
That we even have to have a conversation out having coffee because we don't feel comfortable being able to have a private conversation at home. To me, that's a concern, and you aren't even married yet. You and I have tried to have a conversation recently, and she texted or called like 8 times while we sat for 20 minutes and talked. That feels controlling, and you are not the type of person who wants to be controlled.
If you didn't have this 90-day, limit, that you have a year to decide if you're going to get married, the question I have is, would you really end up getting married at all?
No. I'll wait till we have more time and figure things out. That's hypothetically speaking, and I don't have that.
My wish is that you guys just postpone this, and if it's something that you guys continue to want to do in 6 months or a year, you reevaluate this and decide if you want to still be married.
Identifying here that, well, he had a complete full-on backbone when he said, no, I wouldn't get married right now, hypothetically speaking. And then also the dad or stepdad also said, well, maybe it's a good idea to postpone. Remember these key things because Jibri's tune changes when he confronts Miona, but hey, we're about to get there.
You okay?
I'm not okay, actually.
Why?
Because I'm just under a lot of stress and pressure, and I just feel like everything's kind of in turmoil right now. Honestly, the creative stuff is stressing me out with not having our album done. You and I got a lot of stuff to figure out. It's just not ideal, I'm just feeling a lot of conflicting emotions.
Okay. Jibri has been acting completely strange to me since he was in Chicago. Things have been very tense in the house. And Jibri has been so distant, and I don't really know the reason. I'm trying to be understanding and to wrap my head around it, but it makes me nervous.
I had an interesting talk during coffee with my parents.
What exactly are they talking about?
They think that we aren't ready. They think that I think they're just more so playing on how I'm acting, you know, and that I'm not being as excited as they think I should be. I don't know, I think they're just worried about me. Don't do that. Don't roll your eyes. Don't do that.
I don't feel any support from your parents. I don't know what exactly I did for someone not to like me. I was like always okay with everything. Not even sometimes when I have different opinion, wasn't saying anything. She never gonna know me with the comments she was making because she never gonna
What
get.
comments?
Excuse me? The only thing she's been doing since I came here is making stupid comments.
Like what?
It was my clothing, then cooking, then I had to say their wishes about someone else's wedding and marriage. And I feel like they know they can influence Jibri easily. So I would really need him to step out and start behaving like a man if he wants this relationship to succeed.
These are my parents. I want you to like them and I want them to like you.
Well, she should have tried. She's your mom.
It's not just her. You gotta try too.
With her attitude towards me, I don't have a need to get closer to her.
That's up.
Yeah, I came to this point because this is 2 months already that this is happening. And I've been nothing but respectful, waiting for her to realize that I don't have any mean intentions. I don't know what else am I supposed to do.
I'm in a bind right now because right now they're saying they don't even want to come to our wedding.
But that's absolutely fine.
That's not absolutely fine with me though. That's huge, man. That's a huge red flag for me.
So he begins his conversation straight off the bat with some form of a backbone. But then as the conversation transpires, his backbone starts to become less and less. And then not only does it become less and less, but then he gets to a point where he then manipulates what was said. 3 different occasions his father explained why they could not come to the wedding. And he was very clear. It's because the timing just isn't great because the planning wasn't good. The planning wasn't good enough for them to invite all family members, and therefore the plan wasn't great for them to also take time off. Listen, Miona just said that it's been 2 months already she's been in the States, and still the wedding is only just about being planned. So of course, for many people, it's going to be hard for you to drop your plans. And that is something that the father made abundantly clear. But Jabri goes off and tells Miona that they don't want to come to the wedding anymore. When she's sat there or stood there complaining about how the parents don't like, or at least his mother. So Jibri now saying that the parents don't want to come. That's not making the situation any better, considering he even just said, I just want you all to get along. How can you all get along if you're telling her that they've said that they do not want to come when that was never what came out of their mouth directly? Maybe they don't, but it's not what they said. And the reason why he's done this is because he's someone that struggles to have a backbone. And even when he does create a backbone, he struggles to maintain it, because the second things go south, or the way he doesn't like it because it's too overwhelming, he then crumbles and goes backwards. But hey, let's continue.
Say all of this. I'm gonna get married to the goddamn music and the art.
No, you should focus on us if you want this to work. Do you want this to work?
If it's gonna be like this, no. If you're gonna be starting in your way and I'm only doing my wedding, I don't want to talk to your mom, or you don't care to have a relationship, like, that's a big red flag for me. You know, the other thing that my dad brought up, which I know you probably won't like, but he said, why don't you guys postpone the wedding and do it later?
Would you?
Continue to have our relationship and get to know each other more and get married at a later date when we have more funds and we're financially stable? You wouldn't do it, would you?
No, I would leave your ass if you want that.
Okay. Well, that just says a lot right there.
That says a lot about you, what you just said. I would never agree on the option of continuing to date him and go back to Serbia. That sounds more childish than anything else that he ever said. We were planning for this. I think that people are putting even more stress on him. Jibri should grow up and stop thinking what they're thinking. Parents get in your head like a 15-year-old. You're almost 30. What you talking about? You want to get your life together, or you want to continue dating and doing whatever?
I'm not, trust me, if we don't work out, I'm not dating nobody. I gotta
then
focus
make
on
sure
my
we
art.
work out and stop listening to what your parents are telling you.
Ooh, when a plan doesn't go to plan. If only I could quote the A-Team, but sadly I can't. So here's the thing though. You saw right then and there, he tried to have somewhat of a backbone again, but she slammed him down real quick. And to be honest with you, she talked about how we had a plan. This plan that they had would have only happened before 90 Day Fiancé. It's a plan that would have happened when they were both in Serbia, which therefore goes to prove that Jabri is another American cast member this season who is made promises to their counterpart, but in reality had no intentions of being able to fulfill them, or at least they thought they were going to be able to, but sadly they couldn't, and they didn't tell that person before they traveled that it's not going to happen. I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. In the early episodes, he did try and tell Miona that certain things may not be able to happen straight away, but she's she's a strong woman. Do you know what I mean? She's a stubborn one. You know what I mean? She's defiant. She's like, listen, no, you told me this. And the matter of fact is though, Never once has he really put his foot down towards it. Every time she said, no, this is going to happen, he's put up a little bit of a semi-fight, a semi-backbone. But either way, she's always been the one on top by the end. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm pretty sure when it comes to the bedroom, she's probably always on top too. And I don't mean on top in terms of like riding. I'm talking about in top as in like girls got this. Behave yourselves, please, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe I'll bring that one on the Patreon. But nonetheless, though, the matter of fact is, though, Jibri struggles a lot when it comes to him having a backbone. And to be fair, I believe it was Mark Armstrong, someone who's a part of the conversation, who said that with Jibri's more than happy to agree with the last person who he had a conversation with. And that's the problem. His opinions and his thoughts are always changing per each conversation, which therefore can fall under the category of being overwhelmed. But at the end of the day, that is his own fault for not taking actual control of any of the conversations he has with anybody. Because as far as I'm concerned, he's having one conversation with his friends, have another conversation with his parents, then have another conversation with Miona. When in reality, he needs to be having the same conversation with every single one of them and giving them all the same freaking answer. But no, instead of giving them all instead of giving them all a strong answer, he's giving them all bits and bobs and just agreeing with them for the sake of agreeing them. I mean, listen, end of the day, she called you right there on your bluff about potentially not even doing a wedding or whatnot, and you crumbled. You should have stuck to your guns. And if you lost it, you lost it. It is what it is. Because if you know you can't afford to have a wedding that she wants, well then, I guess you just gotta leave it. If you know that your parents can't make it and you want them to make it, well then, and she's not looking to wait, well then, don't get married to her then. Because clearly she doesn't respect what you want, right? But hey, if you're looking to throw in the towel on your musical career, well, somewhat of it, and looking to throw in the towel and your parents not coming to your wedding, if you want them to because you can't handle the fact that she's got a bite that you just can't hack onto, well then, she's gonna be running his life for the rest. She's gonna be running his life for as long as they are together. And boy, I wouldn't want to be a part of that situation. You know what I mean? Especially if she's the one on top. Let me finish. Let me stop right there. But nonetheless, though, let me know what you're thinking in the comment section, and we'll talk about it. And of course, I'll see the rest of you guys on Patreon who are a member. And of course, we've got some new members to come in. And of course, we've had some new members join Patreon. So shout out to you at the same time. But anyway, like, subscribe, and the link is down below in the description.